Okay, good morning, everyone. Ramesh, thank you for taking your time today to talk to us. So we have a bunch of folks here who are part of the Gita study group. We keep studying Gita together. Every Sunday we meet and we go through some chapters of Gita and some verses of Gita, and we discuss our aha moments and all that. So that's this crowd, and amongst that crowd, there's a subset of this crowd who is interested to do Kailash. And I've been sharing some of the tidbits, what you've been sharing with me to the group. And I felt what better than just to, get you to the team and, introduce you and talk so that you can talk to them. So for the fellow Sitsangis, I met Ramesh the first time when Ramesh was in Cisco. He was actually my customer. And later on, we became co-students together. We learned Gita together. And then, then I realized that we have very similar interests. And so, Ramesh, so thank you so much. And over to you. And maybe you can introduce yourself and then start off.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajesh. I mean, this is a great opportunity to talk about the Yatra. So I thank you for, first of all, giving me the opportunity. I used to live in Bay Area. Recently, a year ago, I moved to Atlanta, and we did the Kailash Yatra in 2019. So today I will share experience and what is the process we went through and some best practices, right, from the journey. It's not a lecture, right? So feel free to stop me at any point of time to ask questions. And does this meeting end in 40 minutes, Rajesh?
Yeah, it ends in 40 minutes. What I would suggest is maybe, 10, 15 minutes, you can kind of summarize and we'll leave the rest 15 minutes for questions. If anybody has questions, they will, raise the hand and I will moderate that.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. If we are not able to complete, we can rejoin the same meeting back as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
Let me share my screen. Where is the share option? Oh, yeah, I can see. Can you enable the sharing for me, please? Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Okay, perfect. So I'll share our Kailash experiences. This is the view of Mount Kailash when we visited. This is the picture, right? And we were around 40 to 50 people from the Bay Area and then there were around 20 people who joined us from India. So it was actually totally 60 people together in 2 buses from Nepal, right? We traveled to Mount Kailash. And my thought to visit the Mount Kailash came in, I think around 2014 or 15 when my father-in-law went. And 2013, I think, or 12, he went to Mount Kailash. And then he shared the information. I started reading more about Mount Kailash. And that's when my desire to visit the Mount Kailash started. And it happened after almost 7 years. And so I'll go through just the significance. I'm sure everyone knows about it. There are multiple trip route options are there. There's a parikrama, there is a touch darshan of the north face, and then some best practices and what are the packing list at a high level. I included critical items one should pack. This is the view of Mount Kailash from a south face, and this is the north face. South face is basically Dakshinamurti, right? Is a guru avatara of Lord Shiva, right? So you can see both the south face and the north face, and I will cover those 2 options as well. Okay. Again, it's a significant pilgrimage, first significant pilgrimage actually for me personally. And it was a wonderful experience. When I saw the Mount Kailash, my wife and I, for first few minutes, we were speechless and we literally cried. We don't know what to say or nothing to ask. We just cried because we've been waiting for that particular moment. And it is, though it is just a mountain, you can actually experience different uh, divine images, in the when you see that mountain. For example, when we saw the Mount Kailash, I mean, I felt that this is an image of a Lord Ganesha, right? I will increase the image. This is the image of a, Lord Shiva, right? Sitting here. So everyone has their own unique experiences, and it was an amazing piece. Um, you will see several people from the different religions visiting the Mount Kailash. And so a lot of people from Tibet born religion, you will see them there as well. Obviously, Hindus and Buddhisms and Jains. So that most of the typical itinerary, it starts from arriving in Nepal. And what they do is, once you arrive in Nepal, the travel agent will basically take your passport and get you a Tibet visa. So that takes us around like a day or two. So during those 1 or 2 days time, you will basically visit different places in Nepal. Definitely, there is Pashupatinath temple. Is very important place to visit. And you visit the Pashupatinath temple, and then you visit the Buddha stupa, and then there is a Jalanarayana temple, and there is also a Mankamana temple. It's the deity, right, of in the Nepal. So you visit these places and other places in Nepal as you are waiting to get your visa for Tibet or China. Okay. And then one other thing that was recently, I went to Chardham Yatra, and there is a story that links Kedarnath and Pashupatinath temple as well. So I put the link. Definitely read that. People say that those who visit Pashupatinath at some point should also visit Kedarnath, and that completes the entire story. The story is that Kedarnath is the head of Shiva. Sorry, the Pashupatinath is the head of the Shiva, Kedarnath is the back of the bull. Pandavas, after the Kurukshetra war, because they did a lot of sins, by killing their relatives and so forth, they go to visit Shiva, and Shiva wants to test them, and he will try to run away, and in the form of a bull. And Kedarnath is the back of the bull, right? And Shiva put his head in the sand, and then that head appeared back in Pashupatinath. Okay, so that's the story. So read that; it is very fascinating, and it's a 5-face Shiva in Pashupatinath temple. Okay, so we did the homam as well there, and the Rudrabhishekam in Pashupatinath before we started the trip. Okay. It's one of the critical thing is in this trip is about acclimatizing to the altitudes. So Mount Kailash is at a 15,000 feet altitude, and as you do the parikrama around the mountain, it takes 3 days, around 53 kilometers or 30 miles. You will reach a peak altitude of 18,000 feet. And so what is important as you move from Nepal to Tibet they will stop in Tibet in 2 to 3 places. They will drive only 4 hours, but those 4 hours probably they have reached an extra elevation of 3,000 feet. And you have to be there, slowly walk around in those places and acclimatize yourself for that height. Because once you reach Mount Kailash, you will feel that even walking 3 to 4 steps itself is very difficult for you. Okay. And one of the things that your travel agent will also do in Nepal itself is he will collect the money for a horse ride or a pony ride, and also a porter. So you will need, my suggestion is you get both of them, because there is a pony, then a porter. The porter will carry your backpack. Your backpack will have essentials and like a rain jacket, maybe warm water, cold water, some important medicine, torchlight, all of that stuff. Though it will be, let's say 2 to 3, 4 kgs, but carrying that and trekking is going to be very, very difficult. Okay, at that altitude, because you will see the oxygen will be very, very limited, right? So you will need a porter. He will guide you through as you do the parikrama. I'll cover a bit about parikrama as well. So my recommendation is you get both of them. In our trip, there were few people, they were very physically fit marathon runners. They did not get the pony rider, but they did but they did get the porter. Okay, so literally you have a pony rider guy, right? And then a porter. So each pilgrim will have 2 people, 1 horse together. So when you are with 30 people, you have another literally 60 people, right? Along with you and the horses. So that's the group you will be going along the path when you do the parikrama. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll continue, but definitely raise your hand.
So just a question: when you do the parikrama, what is the altitude of that place?
Yeah, I'll show you that. So you'll start at, I think, 15,000 feet on the day one, and then day two, you'll reach a point of almost 18,000 feet, which is the highest. Very, very limited oxygen supply. It's called Dolma Pass. Dolmala Pass. Show you the diagram. And then the day three, you will come down. Again, it will be at 12,000, 13,000 feet. Okay, altitude.
So where
And
does
this is
Manasarovar come in between?
Yes, it'll come in between. I will share that. Yeah. So what happens
okay.
is as you cross the Nepal, you went to Tibet. I will share a couple of route options as well. What happens is once you reach the Tibet, we went through Nepal. Let me maybe switch over a little bit. So I'll show you the path. This is the path we took from Kathmandu. We went to Nelam, right? And then there is a border here, you will cross, you will get show the immigration there, all the bags and everything will be checked. And then we went to a place called Saga. We waited there, and then this is another place. They stopped, I think, here or here. They stopped here. 2 places. Again, it is all about acclimatization. And then they will show us the Rakshasthal and Manas Sarovar view, 2 different views, right? Manas Sarovar is a freshwater lake, highest freshwater lake in Himalayas. Rakshasthal is a salt lake, and it is believed that this lake was formed because from the penance that Ravana did, right? So that's why it's called Rakshasthal, salt water. You don't see any birds or anything actually in that lake. And this is where freshwater lake. And then you will see the Manas Sarovar. They will stop here at Manas Sarovar one day night. We stayed 2 day nights basically for Guru Purnima. We were there and we did again Rudrabhishekam and Chandi Homam at Manas Sarovar. And from Manas Sarovar, your base camp place is called Darchin. This is the base camp. From Darchin, you will see the south facing of the Mount Everest, right? Dakshinamurti. So at Darchin, what happens is it's a base camp. That's when whoever paid for porter and pony, all these people will be standing there, right? And they will draw the lottery. So you pick a porter cheat and then you pick a pony, and then they will assign that guy. Take a picture of those people because you are meeting them first time and everyone will look similar. So take a picture of them so that because when you are traveling on that route, you need to identify at least who they know, they will identify, but take a picture of them. And then they will be there with you for all the 3 days. You don't have to worry about it. And they will basically climb all of this mountain, as if it is a flat road for them. But I see that, most of us will have difficulty in catching up with that oxygen levels. So there is a place called Yamadwar. Yamadwar is a place where mean, I don't know the significance. You can Google it, but I have seen people drop some old clothes there before they start the yatra. They do 3 times rounds. It's a small temple kind of a thing. Okay. And your trip starts from Yamadwar. So you do a 16 kilometers trek. That will be around 6 hours or so, depending on how fast you can do. Then you will reach a first place called Dirapuk. There are very solid concrete guest houses with rooms. I have the pictures. I will show you. There are also the basic amenities, right? Like the huts type of a thing. Depending on how soon your travel agent can make a reservation, they can get it. But we had a fantastic concrete facility with 4 beds in the room. Then we stay in that night over there.
Ramesh, can I interrupt for a minute?
Yes.
So about the Yamadwar, what I had read and what I understand is that before you start the Kailash Yatra, you have to pass through that Yamadwar. So to go to heaven, you have to go past, Yama, right? So that's, I think, the significance of going through the Yamadwar.
You are right. That's the significance. Yeah, basically you you have to go clean, right, to the Mount Kailash. Wash away all your sins, maybe. Yeah, that's what the significance is. And then you go to this Dirapuk and you stay in the night that day. And then the following day morning, you will see the Mount Kailash view, right? Next day morning. Typically what happens is people will leave the second day, but what we did is in our group, we kept that day to do the touch darshan. Touch darshan basically is you can actually trek from the Dirapuk, right, towards the mountain to touch the base of the Mount Kailash. That itself will take another 6 hours to 7 hours, right, to and fro trek. And those who did not want to do it, they all stayed in the rooms. So out of the 60 people in our group, probably around 20 of them or so, basically we said we will do touch darshan, including myself. I reached only maybe halfway. After that, I found it difficult to go because it was deep snow covered. But so out of 15 to 20 people, only 7 people were able to go and touch the base of Mount Kailash, right? So you're touching the feet.
How long does it take to go to the touch point?
6 to 8 hours, to and fro.
Okay, and if I can ask, what was the time of your trip?
Well, we did it in July. You can see here that these are the July 8th to 23rd, 2019. It was fantastic weather. There was some rains in between, but we carried our rain jackets and all. But I've seen the reason we picked because all people in US, right? July 4th holidays, we can go, right? That is what we picked. The weather is unpredictable there, right? And but I saw that maybe doing like end of July, beginning of August, I think I have seen some less snow, less rain, right? Type of a thing, though it is unpredictable. But July, August, September months are good months to go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so the Dolma Pass is the highest one, and the day, for example, day 1 we hardly used horses, but the day 2, I myself also used the horse to climb some very peak points. Then there is a deep drop as you descend from the Dolma Pass.
So is Dolma Pass the north face view?
No, Dirapuk is the north face.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what happens is the day 2 we crossed the Dolma Pass, and then we stay right at another place, I think Zutulpuk, and that's second guest house. Dirapuk is your first place, Zutulpuk is your second place, and we rest. Then from Zutulpuk again, you come back to the Darshan, right here. You end the trek here a little bit. From here, vehicles will pick you up and bring you back to the Darshan, right?
So Ramesh, one question. So you were saying from Yamadwar to Dirapuk is 1 day trek, and then we
Yes.
stayed at Dirapuk, and from Dirapuk, you went to touch Mount Kailash, came back. Then again from Dirapuk all the way to Zutulpuk was one day.
Yes, correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So for us, it
So-
was like 4 days, right? Total was 4 days trip, the entire trip, because we added extra day to do the touch darshan. You do touch darshan, come back, right?
So 2 days. So 2 days at Dirapuk
Yes,
because of the touch point.
exactly. 2 days at
That was-
Dirapur, 1 day at
And so
Zutulpuk.
first day you climbed 16 kilometers.
Yes,
The second day you climbed 6 kilometers and came down 16,
correct.
right? So 22 in all. Okay. And then 10 kilometers back or 14 kilometers back rather. Okay. And this is
So-
kind of pretty high altitude. I mean, 18,600 feels like, I mean, I kind of recall this place, Khardungla Pass, which is the highest motorable pass in the world, I think. And I kind of remember kind of having difficulty walking even like 4 steps. So
Correct.
that sounds pretty difficult.
It's pretty difficult. Yeah, it is pretty difficult. Just say Om Namah Shiva and go. I mean, they will not let you to stay more than a minute at this place. And then they will slowly help you to get down. This is the steep point, very steep point. As you descend, you will see what is called Gauri Kund. I will cover that as well. Okay. So this
And
is
are you going to just talk a little bit about what did you do to prepare yourself physically for the trek?
Yes, yeah. So
Okay,
good question. So good segue. So what we did is we were up in Bay Area. What we did is we used to hike PG&E trail, right? And then the Black Mountain trail. And we did that like back to back, right? 2 days and 3 days, just to do the stamina and endurance, right? Because you'll be walking 3 days, right? So we did different trials in Bay Area. I mean, it's not like necessity, but if we wanted to walk, right, we need to be prepared, right? So literally we were wearing the trekking shoes. They are heavy compared to your, I have the packing list. I highly recommend, doing a trekking shoe, buy from REI or other places, because you're walking in literally rocks, right? These are hard rocks. And so the trekking shoes are recommended. So we wore trekking shoes, we wore trekking pants, shirts, cap, and then the 2 sticks. Using that with slight backpack, right, with some water. Using that, we basically did the practice in the Bay
And
Area.
Ramesh, those trekking shoes are good to go in the snow as well, or we need to buy a different pair of shoes?
No, those are good to go in the snow as well. Yeah. So they are very good shoes, and I recommend shoes, the trekking poles. I have the packing list. Okay. If you have decided travel agency, that is good, but otherwise the Monte Rosa Travels, I have the owner of that company name. I can unicast that to Rajesh. When we had 1 or 2 people from Bay Area who coordinated everything with that person, right? All the 60 people list we maintained in a spreadsheet. Everyone took their medical checkup before they went, travel insurance, right? All of that type of stuff. So this is a very good company. We had authentic vegetarian food. I mean, once you go to the Tibet, there are tea stalls and everything, and they use meat-based noodles and all that stuff, right? So we were lucky enough that we had hygienic food everywhere. They carried all the raw materials, and they used to cook every place where we went, right? We had cooks, raw material, everything traveled with us, right? Everywhere we went, they gave us the hot water, warm water for us, and so forth. As you move from Kathmandu to these different areas, interior, the facilities are not up to the mark, right? So you probably are moving from 4-star to 2-star. The rooms were good. So let me just share with you guys a few things here. Hold on. here. I think we covered about the parikrama. Yep, this we did this. So again, enjoy the nature as you go through, right? Drive, beautiful, beautiful lakes and landscapes. You know, God created this beautiful universe. So enjoy as you go through. So we covered this. So this is the Monte Rosa travels. Isha Sadhguru also offers the trips to Kailash. But this year, I don't think they go into the Tibet. They go to the Tibet and Nepal border, and they will show the Kailash from there. I mean, anyway, it is far. My brother-in-law just did this a month ago, and he really enjoyed it. So that's another option. And there are many travel agents that are there. So this is the route, like I was telling you. So from the Kathmandu, right? So we basically travel via road like this to Saga to Dongba, right? Dongba to this, Manas Sarovar area and so forth. And then we did the, parikrama, right? So to nowadays, I think this road is very unpredictable with a lot of landslides. So some of the travel agents will fly you from Kathmandu to Lhasa, which is the capital of Tibet. You're going a little bit back, but the roads in Tibet are fantastic. They're concrete roads, and they will take you right in the bus like this. So this is the new route. You fly to Lhasa. From Lhasa, again, you come to Saga, Dongba, right? All of that stuff. So that's how they will take you in the buses there. So in Nepal, they will move all your bags into the duffel bags. These are the yaks will carry these bags, in the parikrama, during the parikrama. They will ask you to reduce the weight once during the parikrama. So my wife and I, for example, had individual bags from Nepal, but once we reached the parikrama, we adjusted our stuff into one bag, which is enough. During parikrama, you won't do bath or anything like that. Okay, so at that altitude, you don't even sweat. Okay. So this is just another view of the route. Again, why people do parikrama, basically one parikrama washes away, right? Sins of the life. Very interesting thing we saw was Tibetans do the parikrama, but they do anti-clockwise, right? We do clockwise. You'll see the Tibetans do anti-clockwise, and they do full prostration, right? Sastanga, and they will do that and for the throughout their 3-day trip in the mountain, around the mountain. Okay.
This is interesting. 108 parikramas.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And maybe you could, people who visit 108 times, maybe, right? So these are some of the views, right? They will show you both the Rakshasthal and Manas Sarovar Lake. So this is Rakshasthal and Manas Sarovar from satellite picture. This is our real picture. These are the buses that from the Tibet they will arrange. Once you cross the border, you will use their buses only, right? And in the Manas Sarovar, because the Tibet government will not allow taking the dip directly in the water. So what our travel agent did is he put up the tents, he heated the water, so we were able to take the hot water bath, right? And if you are able to do cold water bath, you can do that as well. But we took the hot water bath, head bath. So that's what we did. This is the guest house view, Dirapuk. The first day, the second day guest house also. Luckily, we were able to get the same type of guest house. Good food as we go along. This is how, at the Darchen, the base camp, remember I said you will be waiting for your lottery, right? To be assigned with the pony and porter. This is how the people wait, right? And they will call your name and the pony and porter will be with you. They will start moving you, right? Even if you and your wife are together, they'll say, move, 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 right? You go, you will be fine. Don't even have to worry. So, you will meet at the destination, right? Because everyone
Why do they do this lottery thing? I mean, I'm assuming there are enough porters and ponies for everyone, right?
Yeah, there are enough porters because you would have booked in advance, right? So they don't
Correct.
want a preference that or Rajesh going selecting this pony, right? Or this
I see.
person,
Okay, got it.
like that. And definitely, though they will take the pony porter charges in advance, carry the tips. And I do have in the presentation, like in the hotels where you stay along the way, that Saga, Dongba, right? Those hotels, once you cross the debate, people will come with their backpacks, right? With US dollars and Tibetan currency, Chinese currency. They'll give you very good rates. So you can exchange even there also. Okay. And carry that so you can give the tips. This is the room inside. It was very good. One other thing is that everything in Tibet is solar powered, because these are high altitudes, right? There is no, no electricity there. So all of them are powered by solar. And so don't expect any hot water or anything during parikrama. But in the rooms along that way, that from, let's say, Lhasa or Saga, the hot water usually comes in the evening. So let's say you reach the hotel by 12 o'clock, right? Daytime, you will go around, walk around, acclimatize. Evening, you take a shower. Hot water comes in the evening because of the power.
So just quick couple of questions, Ramesh. One is, when you went there, was it like really busy and kind of people jostling around, or is it like an easy thing?
No, it was busy, because even if you're 30 people, right? Like I said, you have 60 more people. Yeah, there were multiple groups. We had the group from Satyasai Trust, right? They were also coming, and there are other groups coming. So it was busy.
And they would limit the number of people, I would imagine, because of the logistics.
Yeah, logistics.
Okay. So,
yeah.
And second question, you can do the whole parikrama if you wish on the pony.
On
the pony?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's what.
And then the third one, quick one, is that from wherever from Dirapuk, I think, to when you do the touch point, is that doable by pony as well or no?
No, good question. There's no pony there. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, good question. Only porter will come with you. There is no pony. And obviously the pony people will put you pressure. No, get on the pony, right? So I used to tell him that, dude, don't worry about it. Just be with me. Let me walk as much as I can, right? And when I am not able to do it, I will call you, right? So they will put pressure on you, right? They think
I noticed that in your presentation. Is that because they want to just hasten it, or what is the reason?
No, I think there are two reasons, right? One is they think if you don't use their service, maybe they may not get the tip, right? What they, for example, that's number one. Second, also, right? Pony just walking without the weight will get used to that also, right? That's another theory.
I see. Okay, got it. Thanks.
So the day one was very nice, right? I think you will see the Nandi Parvat, that is, I think, east facing, I think. Okay, so you will see that with nice rivers, right? Freshwater river, lake, water coming from the Mount Kailash, flowing, beautiful experience. This is the day two, the difficult part of the Yatra. What happened for us day two was the agent and the travel guides, right, will travel. What they said is, tomorrow it's going to snow and we should leave by 5:30 or so if you wanted to cross the Dolmala Pass. If we do it after 6, we won't be able to reach that peak point. Okay, so we said yes, we will be ready. So what I'm saying is trust their judgment, right? So we were ready by 5:30. Boom, we made it to day 2 parikrama. Those who did not wake up, for example, they could not, right? They could not complete, right? The parikrama. So they had to stop their parikrama and return, right?
So when if you can't cross it, you just go back again.
Yeah, you just go back, because every reservation, right, you will not have it, right, unless your travel agent has some way to change your reservation, because the next day people will start coming. Okay. Right? So it is very important to follow their guides. Okay. Then I think the bridge will end. Please rejoin, right? If we can.
Yeah, we will rejoin as soon as this ends. Okay.
Yeah. And then as you come down from the Dolmala Pass, you will see what is called a Gauri Kund onto your right hand side, right? It's believed that Ganesha was born here. This is where Parvati is supposed to put Ganesha, right? While she was taking the bath, right? So what we did is we asked some porters to go down and get the water from Gauri Kund. So they did that for us. And one other thing, so we got the Gauri Kund water, we got the Manas Sarovar water also. Okay. And so we kept some at home, and so you could use it, when you do the Rudrabhishekam at home. Okay. All right. So these are some of the best practices. This is the very toughest pilgrimage, right? So just make sure you have all the relevant documents and everything. Just you never know. Do the physical test.